You're welcome back. The Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, has expressed satisfaction with the level of progress recorded on the construction of the Lekki Deep Seaport project in Lagos, and says the construction would be completed by the third quarter of 2022 and commercial operations should commence by the fourth quarter as planned. This should ease the business of exporters such as Mr. Adeyemi Adeniji, whom you saw earlier, is a cocoa exporter and the Chief Executive Officer of Starling Global and Ideal Limited. So let's find out what he thinks about all of this. Good morning. And thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Adeyemi.
I'm okay. Thank you very much for having me this morning. Well, we have different views about the export business from Nigeria. The government is putting a lot of infrastructural developments into it. But we have a lot of issues with the shipping lines, which has always been a very terrible situation. Let me be very particular. In the last 6 months, the shipping lines have been shipping out empty containers from Nigeria because of the coronavirus problems. A container from Asia is about $15,000 because Nigeria is a net importer of, we have a taste for foreign goods. So they've been sending their containers, empty containers, to Asia and quickly bring them back to Nigeria for $50,000. Whereas they abandoned all export banned containers from Nigeria because it's better for them to make more money by only sending out empty containers. And that one has impacted on the volume of dollar that is being received in the country. It has negatively impacted.
Yeah, no wonder our investment has dropped.
Yeah, it has always been going. Can you look at the rate today? Exchange rate in the black market is about 520, whereas the CBN is talking about 412 or 411. So there is a real problem with the way those people that we give the ports to have managed our ports in the last because they are foreigners and they don't care what happens to the Nigerian economy.
So you're not even so excited about the Lekki ports?
It's not about ports. It's about the structure. When you give out your ports to be managed by foreigners who doesn't have the interest of your country economy at heart, so what do you expect? It's like throwing a big drop of stone inside the water. You will expect bubbles. So they are here not because they are charity organizations. Okay. Yeah, what they are only coming here to do is to make the profit at the expense of Nigerian economy.
Well,
yeah,
but some have described, the situation with non-oil exports in Nigeria as complicated. Can you paint a picture, for us on, how this is?
It's not difficult. The first problem started with concessioning that port to foreigners. They did not invest at all in the last 15 years at the port. We have examples in Netherlands, in Singapore. There are no this type of congestion. Do you know that a ship coming to Nigeria will stay for 40 days on water before it can back? As at April this year, export banned containers, about 7,000 boxes, were abandoned at Apapa Port, APMT.
But we have government regulators, we have regulatory agencies who are supposed to ensure that even though these guys are foreign nationals doing business in Nigeria, but they play according to the rules.
Well, it took me to start to write petition to government agencies, to the presidency, before the MPA was directed to step into it. And when they stepped into it, there was some relief. But it was just a temporary relief. It's not supposed to be about Starlink or about me. It's supposed to be about the export business in Nigeria. Today, you have so many other exporters who are crying, but nobody heard their voices. So many exporters are suffering. Some containers are being in the port, perishable items for more than 100 days.
Oh, it's a long
So what
time.
do you see as a lasting solution?
The lasting solution is for government to be alive to its responsibilities. One, we need to have an action on export. Nigeria doesn't have so many businesses with poverty if we harness all our potentials properly. One, we have what it takes to, why are we exporters of primary commodities in the first place? We are supposed to add value. If we have value, it gives you a better opportunity. Then, two, we need also to have a proper regulation on those that manages our ports, like the APMT, the PTML, the port and cargo, all of them. All of them are just taking money from Nigerians. You can imagine when you deliberately create a problem, a crisis at the port, so that people will pay more on demurrages.
But we've had the, e-call-up system now active for some time, and now in Lagos. How effective has that been?
I don't want to talk about e-call-up. I was the first person that went against it. I wrote a letter to MP, to everybody, that the e-call-up will never work, and it will never work. Because it was not designed primarily from the beginning to suit export. It was only designed for import. They want to clear Apapa. Yes, good job, everybody thump up for them. But what about the export? That's the most important thing to this country, to the survival of this country as a nation.
What kind of policy would you like to see then?
The policy we want to see is to develop all other ports, like Calabar, like Warri.
Like you did the bulk export from Calabar.
Like Calabar, like Warri ports, and stem down the insecurity. Because even when we went to Calabar, we have to pay a lot of money. I don't want to mention it on TV, so that we'll be able to put that vessel on that route to Calabar and come back without any security challenges.
That's on the road?
On the water.
On the water.
Because there are a lot of pirates, there are a lot of so many things.
Still that issue of piracy on the
water. It's very, very serious.
So it's a lot of, from what you're saying now, we're not so excited about the Lekki port because the system running in the port and the connecting factors, like you just mentioned, the issue of insecurity now, these are deterrents.
These are the real problems. If you like, let us build 20 ports, new 20 ports. As long as we don't stem down all these terrible people that are managing the ports, we are going to be jumping on and falling on the same spot.
All right, so you deal in cocoa, you export a lot of cocoa, but you also mentioned, why are we into exporting primary products, raw materials? Why are we not adding value to these things before, especially something like cocoa? It has a whole lot of international valued products.
Well, why don't you mention cashew? That doesn't even really need so much to export. The Nigerian system is a law. That's one of those things that the National Assembly should look at. You cannot import what you produce. For cashew, for example, cashew grows from Nigeria to Ivory Coast, in that order, Republic of Benin, then down to Guinea-Bissau, to Gambia, to Senegal, before you go to Tanzania, every month. For example, Nigeria starts in January, February. Then you have Ivory Coast in March, April. Then you have Guinea-Bissau in July, Tanzania in December. But there's a law in Nigeria. You cannot import these products from these countries because we produce cashew in Nigeria. So if you stock cashew, you are not going to be competitive with the other countries. For India and Vietnam, they export these raw materials from Nigeria. I'm talking about cashew now. Every 4 tons of cashew, you only get 1 ton of kernel, which is the edible one. The other 3 tons, that means 75% of what we export is waste. You put your money to export waste to Vietnam, they will produce it, add value to it, send them to very close places like Europe and America that are closer to us than to them, and they will still make profit. So the government needs to look at the structures and the laws. We've been writing to them, what can we do? Can we really change the narrative as a nation, as a people? The population is growing, and we are not looking at the future of the next generation. Because we can't continuously be perpetual supplier of raw materials to developed nations.
But what's the private sector doing if the government says, they're
There's
overwhelmed
some kind of
and all that?
PPP arrangements.
You have
Where the government needs to create an enabling environment. Where is the electricity, for example? We don't have it. Where is the law that makes it easier for you to import cashew from Guinea-Bissau into Nigeria without paying as if you are importing textile materials? Oh, look, we import bags, jute bags, that can grow in Kwara State. The fiber that is used to produce jute bags can grow in Kwara State, can grow in Osun State, can grow in Oyo State. But the government doesn't. What are they doing? We just put high tariff on bags from Bangladesh. Today, when you are looking at packaging of cocoa from Nigeria today, it is at very high prices. Because of the exchange rate, because it is even difficult for you to import.
But what do you think the private sector can actually do, at this point, since they're not getting that much help, from the government? What do you think the private sector can do to help the situation?
Well, everybody's in the business to make profit. So when you don't have an enabling environment, what can you do? Nothing. So everybody's just waiting and hoping and praying that one day we have a system that will work. As it is today, it's not working.
But how much of this is a problem from the consumers, Nigerians? one of the things you said earlier in this conversation was the taste of Nigerians. Nigerians have a taste, for imported products. How much of it is a problem from there? Perhaps we should also see how we can solve the problem from that end.
Well, the fact of it is, it's difficult for you to change people. Look at me, look at the cloth I'm wearing, look at the one you are wearing.
You're more Nigerian.
I'm very sure they are not made in Nigeria.
Well, mine is actually made in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the fabrics?
Okay, fabric, not necessary.
If you go to party today, you see people wearing Ankara. Those Ankara are manufactured from China. They're not from Nigeria.
Is it because of the quality, or just people want to feel that I'm wearing something imported?
Maybe, maybe not. The first problem is we need to change our orientation. We need to develop the taste of what we produce in Nigeria. And that's one of the things that I like the current president saying that we should. They only need to act what they are talking. That, look, we need Nigerians to only produce what we can eat. And I think that is one way to start to look at it. Why do we all need to import toothpaste from any part of the world? Why do we need to import long reach before you can brush your teeth? So that all those ones, when we have all the structures here that can do it, is the government needs to have a proper regulation. How are we going to get there? The immediate term, immediate plan, medium-term plan, and a long-term plan to make sure that we exit from exporting primary products to developed nations. And that's why they will never, and the fact of it is, we have what it takes here to develop, to grow very quickly. And don't forget the other side of it. Foreigners, Oyinbos, Americans, Europeans, the West, they would never want us to stop being perpetual supply of raw materials.
Yeah, because
so
they make a lot of money from us.
So pull ourselves out of it.
Exactly. If we don't help ourselves, we don't expect anybody to help us.
So that is the area the government, a serious-minded government, should start looking at.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Adeyemi. Mr. Adeyemi Adeniji is the CEO of Starling Global and Ideal Limited, a major cocoa exporter in Nigeria. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Thank you.
So we'll take a break now. And Nigeria is set to launch its digital currency, yes, by the 1st of October, one way to celebrate the independence. How expectant are the players in the digital space? What are the possible impacts? Let's talk about that after the break. It's Business Morning on Channels Television.